I wanted to go over this Going Postal documentary trailer. I'm really excited that they're making a documentary on Postal. I think it's one of the most impactful games ever made. It's one of the most, at least, controversial games ever made. Um, if you don't know a lot about the Postal series, the first Postal was a top-down kind of twin stick shooter. It was just this twin stick shooter where you went around and you killed like cops and stuff. You can kill civilians, but you don't have to. But I mean, everybody threw a grenade into the marching band. That's just something else. Postal 2 is where the series really elevated itself and became something much more awesome. Postal 3 is the hated one, and then Postal 4 was the one that got me into the series. Postal Brain Damage was a spin-off that's fucking the best game in the series.
This is Mike J from Running with Scissors. You're about to watch the trailer for Going Postal, The Legacy Foretold.
I like everybody involved with the studio. They're just such a fun indie studio that just seems to have fun with what they do.
There aren't many games that have had FBI involvement, being sued by the government, condemned in a dozen countries. So that probably does...
Yeah, dude, they're in like a... I know that people hate when I pause so much, but I just like that... I don't think people understand the pedigree of how many games get this much hate and attention. It's like these guys and Grand Theft Auto. It's really not... I mean, these guys even got hit a little harder than Grand Theft Auto. Like, Hatred got a lot of controversy, but not this much.
Single us out.
Video games like Postal.
Going Postal.
Going Postal, new video game. It's called Postal.
Going Postal means shooting everyone in sight. There's nothing funny about it.
But man, the Postal turned it up to 11.
Felt like we were doing something that we were not supposed to.
Their whole premise is so over the top. It's so ridiculous.
Set a whole bunch of shit on fire at once.
Dude, it's so great. That's a real person. You know what's funny, too? Postal actually has a really good movie, too, and it's made by a guy who never makes good video game movies. Yuri Braun, or whatever his name is. He's made, like, the worst video game adaptations of all time. He's, like, the fucking worst at video game adaptations. But the movie for Postal is bad, but it's, like, bad in the way that you would expect a Postal movie to be, and it makes it fucking amazing. And it's just like something that everything that's had to do with Postal, except for Postal 3, I haven't played it. I don't know how it holds up. I know it wasn't made by Running with Scissors, so I really don't want to play it. But at the same time, I love everything that they put out as a team and like the spin-offs and stuff. I just really think that there's something special in this series and then their ability to fight from death, because after Postal 2 they really didn't do anything, and they were contracted by the Russian Russia EA to make Postal 3, and then they were kind of cut out of their own IP. Now the IP still remained with them, but the game for Postal 3 was totally in the power of this Russian company, and it ended up becoming a fucking shit show. It's third person, it's gobbledygook machine, it's got no giggity schmoodle. I don't know, dude. I'll play it one day. I heard that there's a Postal 3 first person in development, like a mod for the Postal 3 game, or it's like modding Postal 2 to become Postal 3 as first person. So I'm very interested to see that. I would love to see Postal 3 revived in a way that's like nice. These games are never, like, if you're going into Postal expecting like a polished gaming play experience, you're not going to the right series. The only games that I would say are really polished would be Postal 1 Redux and Postal Brain Damage.
What do they say to the family members who have experienced a murder?
It's a game.
Now explain to me what's entertaining about that.
There was a video game called Postal. We just ran around shooting people. Germany just removed all of our games off of Steam. Talk about like Nazi regime coming back again.
I do know that
Bro, I always think it's funny when people conflate like Nazism to things and like falsely, but like when there's like mass censorship, that's something that regime did, you know. It was something that like when you're like fully censoring stuff because you disagree with it is wrong. I've always agreed it's wrong. I think if you like go out there and I don't like it because it has like a bias toward this direction or that direction, I don't think that's okay. You can clown on something. You can be like, oh, Postal's garbage because I don't like the message it sends. Cool. Nobody fucking cares. And then it's like the same thing when I bitch about some game with like some DI writing or millennial bullshit. It's like, well, nobody fucking cares. It's one of those things that, like, you can have your opinion can be valid in your own head, because everybody's opinion only matters to themselves. And even with, like, having platforms and having these things where people will come and listen to me, it's one of those things that it's like, sure, my opinion goes out there, but that doesn't mean that it's valid. It just means that people like me and want to listen to the garbage that I spew on the internet. So I got that big giggity schmoodle in my pants. Actually, it's really small, but I don't know. It's one of those things, because it's like, I hate when things get banned. I hate censorship in media because of the fact that I feel like we get too safe and everything becomes too desensitized. I think it's what's happened to the music industry in a really bad way, because like country music and rap music are like two great examples that they've almost became parodies of themselves.
Played it, I grew to dislike it more and more and find it to be really, really awful.
All right, they want to fuck, we're gonna fuck.
Based, bro. Oh my god, dude. Well, this is a badass trailer.
Hey, everybody should buy my book, How to Fire an Employee Without Making Them Go Postal.
They are literally the definition of insanity.
I knew I was involved in something kind of fucking crazy.
Violent, funny, crazy, stupid. I loved it.
Critics are calling it.
That was the director of the Postal movie, which is his best movie, hands down. It's the only one of his movies that's even fucking watchable. It's like, it's so crazy because it's sitting at like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or stuff, but you look at every other movie he hit, I don't think they break 10%. But that movie is just perfect. It is a perfect fucking Postal movie, and if you disagree, go get mad in my fucking comments section, and I don't care. It's fucking amazing, dude. It really bricks me up in a weird way.
One of the most violent computer games that they've ever created.
I know there are a lot of people that really wish we would go away, but it's never going to happen.
Postal 2 is the worst product ever foisted upon consumers.
He probably didn't even...
Pussy, you're a pussy. You like to be fucking shoved into a corner while your wife dicks down other dudes. You can't handle fun. You don't deserve fun. Postal took what GTA was doing, said, fuck you, dude. We're gonna take it a step further. GTA was over there like, yeah, you can kill everybody, and yeah, you can do all that things. Postal was like, taking the thing that made Postal more fucking crazy than like GTA. Well, at least the first Postal was actually kind of dark and kind of like sad. There's like Postal lore that I will get to on this channel. One of these days I'm gonna do like a Postal 1 lore dive, because like the game itself isn't really my type of game. I play it on my Switch every once in a while when I'm watching TV. It's fun enough, but it's one of those I want to do a Postal 1 deep dive. But like Postal 2 and Postal 4, the thing that's glorious about Postal is you're living in a world of the mundane, which we all live in, and it's what point do you go postal? That's what's funny about it, because it's so over the top mundane bullshit, and just like having a bad day and then you just fucking go postal. It's what's your breaking point? Because you can play Postal 1 and wait in every line. You can just be like okay with everything. You don't have to kill anybody. But at what point do you do? At what point do you just start smoking crack and killing hookers? That's the greatness about Postal, and that's what makes it so much different than like your Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto usually has a story with like a crime guy and you're doing the crimes and whatever, and it has a point. Postal is just chaos to embrace the chaos. It's like it's that 90s humor darkness that like has kind of been washed out of society because they've deemed it too offensive.
Play the game.
You too.
The phrase going postal gives all of us a black eye. It's a real insult to us.
We're not really going to publish this, are we?
Oh, this is going to piss off your viewers, isn't it? Oh, well.
Dude, and they're so I actually follow the Running with Scissors on Twitter, and they sometimes they post some really funny shit, and they also just don't give a fuck. They do get a little annoying with their whole, I don't know, it's like this fucking, they do this whole like shit on Postal 3 thing, and it gets really fucking annoying. But dude, I just really love and they really cultivate to their the community. They're always like pushing community mods and stuff on on the world. They're not like pushing them, but they like embrace them. They embrace them in a really cool way. I've always really appreciated Running with Scissors as a company, as a vibe. They're just fucking great, dude. It's just they're a cool studio. They literally will go out of their way to be like, oh, you guys want to make a bunch of different Postal games? Let's have a competition to see who's the best. It's just neat stuff. I've always been a really big fan, but that's it. They have a documentary coming out. I'm very interested to see this. I think that if there's any game that like Doom, you've had like the FPS documentaries, but I think Postal is just such a chaotic embryo of itself that it's something beautiful that we need to see. So that is going to be something that I'm interested in.